Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Dream Oracle for You. This is the first episode of 2025, the first episode of our new season, and we're kicking things off with our lovely guest today, Nereeda McInnes. I am your host, Sarah. I hope you all have had a fantastic break. Biljana is on the call with us and Nereeda. Biljana, do you want to say just a couple of quick words before we introduce Nereeda?
Oh, yeah. Welcome to 2025. Yeah, I'm excited for this year. It's already been um, very intense for me, so I'm looking forward to the rest of the year. So, yeah, it's great to have a great guest on as our first podcast back. So, we're talking about maybe doing a podcast like the other day beforehand. I'm like, no, let's start with Narita because this will be perfect with her chin wags.
100%. I couldn't agree more. It's such a pleasure to have you with us today, Narita. We're going to hit the ground running in 2025, and I'm so looking forward to today's episode. We made no plans. We are just going to have a beautiful chinwag, whatever flows, it comes. And with that, Narita, do you want to introduce yourself for the guests? Anything you want to say? And we'll just go from there.
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, thank you, awesome women, for having me on the show. It's such an honor and so good to be catching up with you and having a chin wag. We all know we love a good chin wag. I mean, for people who might not know me, my name is Nereeda McInnes. I have a podcast, the Rock the Ripple podcast. I also am a personal development and healing mentor, and I work with people to help them align with the frequency of their highest potential, whatever that looks like for them, just so that we can all be who we came here to be, and express ourselves in the best possible way. Because when we do that, we raise the vibration of the planet, we raise consciousness, and just nothing too crazy there. So, yeah, and I just love having chin wags and just, yeah, I'm really excited to see what comes through too. This is my first chin wag back for 2025 as well. So happy New Year or whatever you want to say. I'm interested to see what Biliana's. She said it's been a bit of an interesting start to the year. So yeah, and just to see what flows through as well. So thanks for having me, ladies.
Absolutely. We're very happy to have you here. And, what better way to help others connect with their soul and their higher frequency than analyzing dreams or talking about dreams and learning how to get the most out of your dreams for the best potential for yourself. I guess that would be kind of a headliner for today.
Mm, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I suppose I'll kick off with some questions, and we'll just flow from there, just whatever comes through, and yeah, we'll see where it goes. So the first thing is like, why did you want to come on the podcast? Because I suppose your background is like more mentoring and coaching and that sort of thing. So, and I don't think I've heard you talk about dreams in your podcast, but I'm interested in why you said yes to coming on here and why you want to have a chat with us.
Yeah. Well, it's obviously you guys, so you're a bloody champion. So we know that that's why I'm going to come up. But no, I mean, I talk about so many different things, and I'm one of those people who love to dive down lots of different rabbit holes and explore so many different things. And I think dreams is such an important part of what we're going through. And it dropped into my head this morning when I was getting ready, and one of the things that I think dreams are there for, and maybe I'd love to see what you guys think on this as well too, is to sometimes work out or play out what is going on in your life right now that you're trying to work through. So maybe, there might be a scenario in your dream where maybe you're having a conversation with someone who is either the person you're trying to work something out with or is representative of the healing or the issue that you're working through. So that comes up in your dreams and your subconscious is trying to work out, okay, how do I best play this out? Or to give you an idea of, okay, you're gonna just keep hitting a brick wall with this person. It doesn't matter if you sing, dance, yell at them, turn upside down, like do a backflip. They're not going to get what you're trying to say here. They're not going to change, or or maybe so maybe it's time to walk away and break free from that scenario, or Yeah, or maybe it's you're out on a ledge and you're like you've got are you going to take that risk? Are you going to take that jump and see where you're going to go? So those sort of thoughts were popping in, and those dreams can sort of have those meanings. And I know when I had Sarah, when we spoke on had our chinwag on the podcast, we were talking about different dimensions as well and tapping into different realities there. And I also think that's what's happening too when we're dreaming. We're tapping into different versions of ourselves, different fragments of our soul, perhaps having different experiences. And that's why it could look so crazy, I think, because our reality looks like it does, but the other realities going on and what they look like, I mean, that could be totally different. So it seems so wacky and weird sometimes when really we're tapping into those different things. And then there's the element of also are there other energies and entities trying to come in to your dreams and direct your energy, and that's when I guess you coming into, do I need to do more energy protection, or is it benevolent things that are happening, and am I being guided? So I guess you have to be discerning too. So I know I'm just like waffled a whole heap of stuff there, but so much just came through there. So there you go.
I love it. And see, this is exactly
Yeah,
why
awesome.
I never plan for the podcast. I just allow everything to just come through or allow our guests to have things come through. You definitely covered a lot of ground there. I'm not sure if I got something to say on every point that you mentioned, but I definitely all resonates with me. I feel that we have so many different types of dreams that are really there to guide us every step of the way. Sometimes that might be reflecting on a past life scenario or a different dimensional version of yourself. One thing that came through for me, and I believe I may have talked about this on the podcast before, but definitely where you talked about it allows your subconscious to kind of present a scenario for you, something that you're dealing with in your everyday life that you're wanting to deal with. For me, I didn't realize that I needed to forgive my ex. I thought that I had already done so, but I had a dream once where I was just sitting with him and having a very friendly conversation, kind of like two friends that haven't spoken in a very long time and caught up. And when I woke up, I was like, wow, it's like, would I even be able to talk to this person that in that way, given everything my experiences and history with him, which wasn't a nice one. Would I actually be able to do that? And then there was some self-reflection. I was like, okay, I actually need to forgive this person so that I'm not holding on to any grudges or any sort of negative feelings that go with that. So that was one thing that came through very strongly for me when you were talking about that. How about you, Billiana?
Uh, I pretty much resonated with all of that, and it was really good. I was like, I'm writing it down, a couple of questions just to kind of kick the conversation off. I wasn't expecting your answer, so it's really good to, um, I suppose, because it's like, it's not an expected question that you'd get. Is like, why do you want to even come on here? So it was really good to get an answer like that because it shows that you're thinking about certain things, and it's and also you portrayed like your process of like thinking about coming onto the podcast and what your experiences are with dreams. So yeah, I really enjoyed that answer. So yeah, and I suppose I'll go to the next question. Like, what's your opinion on dreams, or how would you explain what dreams are for you, in your opinion?
Mm. Well, I'll actually go back to what Sarah was just saying, because when you just mentioned that dream, I just popped into my awareness and memory a dream that I had with an ex years and years ago. And I remembered it so vividly then. So thank you. Like it was a very interesting relationship, and I definitely learnt a lot about myself in that, as those kind of ones are. And we were at a park and we're just swinging on the swing. And it was like, it's almost like looking back at it now, I don't know if I would have thought this at the time. Although at the time I knew it was a closure, but it was like our higher selves going, okay, we've played that role, we've played that part. So, we were then broken up. It was like going, okay, you go your way, I'll go mine. We've done what we needed to do. It was sort of that sort of dream. And I think, yeah, so when you brought that up, I just remembered that. It was like, okay, thanks for the lessons. And yeah, now we'll go on to the next path. So yeah, so and now, Billy, I've forgotten your question. Sorry,
Well,
mate.
what's your understanding of dreams like, in your opinion? Like, what do you feel like deep down dreams are for you?
Mm.
Not necessarily what everyone else says, but what do you think they are?
Yeah, well, for me, I do think that there's messages in dreams for sure. Like that's one layer. One layer is that like I said at the start, like things are coming through for me to work through that maybe need to be brought into my awareness. I do sometimes think too, like if you watch some crazy movie or some weird thing on Instagram where like things are popping out of things, like I think that will pop into your subconscious mind. So sometimes you'll just have some random shit that floats through that may not mean anything either. Um, and then, it's also um, going into parallel realities or parallel lives, other dimensions, and experiencing maybe what a fragment of our soul is experiencing in another lifetime. And so maybe we're picking up on that as well. So that's sort of how I kind of see it. And so for me, when I do have a dream, like sometimes I'll write it down, sometimes I'll just be like, that was nuts. Or sometimes, even recently, like maybe about a few weeks ago, this doesn't happen very often, but I had a dream, had to get up and go to the loo, as you do, and then went back to sleep in the same dream again. So something was there that needed to be worked out, but obviously needed to go to the loo. So did it want to be worked out yet? I don't know. And it was a bit of an adventure. And then sometimes you're in the dream, and you're dreaming. And so you're sort of you realize you're dreaming and you're directing the dream, and sort of doing that too. And I think also different parts of your life, depending on what you're going through, your dreams could be a lot heavier, as well, or they can be a lot lighter or playful. But yeah, I definitely dream, and sometimes you don't, and sometimes you don't dream, and you're just like totally zonked out, and maybe you are dreaming, you just don't remember. I don't know, but so they can mean all of those things to me. So not a clear cut answer, Billiana, but yeah, there's
No,
just
no, that's
yeah.
that's good. Yeah. And do you experience deja vu, and do you think deja vu is related to your dreams? This is just what I've been thinking lately.
Ooh, yeah, that's a great question. I've definitely experienced deja vu. I was actually having a chat on my most recent podcast. We were talking about that. Like, what is deja vu? It's like, have we already lived this life and we're just remembering, or is it showing us that we're on the right track? Is it, um, is it part of the game? Like, so, ding, you win a prize, like you're playing Super Mario Brothers, and you've just hit the mushroom thing. Yeah, or is it part of the dream? Or is the dream is the deja vu the life we're living now and the dream the real thing? I mean, I don't know. Like I would love to know. But that's such a great question. Awesome question. I
Yeah.
have no idea.
Yeah, no, super, super question. And again, we've covered so much ground. I'm writing down things that I'd like to circle back around and get back at as we go through this. But my comments for deja vu, I feel that, you know, there's only the concept of time in this reality that we're living in this third dimension. But beyond this, there's always the past, the present, and the future are all just the now. So I wonder if the deja vu isn't just us kind of getting a glimpse of the now moment, where we can see both past, present, and future kind of thing. And
Mm.
I definitely experienced deja vu on numerous occasions. Sometimes it's where you're having a conversation and you'll be talking, explaining something, and all of a sudden you're like, wait, did I dream this or did this actually happen like last week? You kind of the lines between dream and reality seem to blur together, and someone might think that that's a problem, but I think I like to think it's not for somebody who is very aware and connected to what's beyond this reality.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because I experience deja vu like every week. It's very specific, like to the finer detail, like how I'm sitting, who I'm sitting with, if there's a table that's set exactly the same, like everything, same conversation, everything. I think, like, what is that? Did I dream it like beforehand? And then it's just playing out in the real world. So I don't know. And then every time I watch The Matrix, that scene where they're talking about deja vu, it always like ting, it like always sparks my interest. So yeah, I'm definitely, and I think because it's a personal interest, it happens so often for me. I'm like, why? Why does it happen? And people just look at me like you're weird.
It's the scene with
So
the cat, isn't it, when it glitches
yeah,
out? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yes. So is it glitching? Is it glitching and or are we in a dream? Or is are we remembering the dream?
I don't know what the answer is. I hope that, we would eventually know the answer, but it's definitely really fun to ponder what the
Mm.
reality is that we live in. And I like that you brought up The Matrix again because I've watched The Matrix in kind of like bits and pieces, but I think that to watch it from start to finish as an adult, I haven't actually done. And I've heard recently the tagline that The Matrix was a documentary, and so it's been really w making me want to watch it again through a whole different lens, of being aware and awake. So, yeah, I'll have to put that on my to-do list.
Mm.
Especially the new one. It's quite interesting. I was watching it because I wasn't going to watch it. I'm like, it's just the fourth one. It's going to be crap. And so, but I watched it and I'm like, there's so much truth and so much you can pick out of it to, put into your own life. And like, I stopped watching movies for a long time and TV shows, and I just started to get back into it just to kind of get some insight, I guess, in this life, because sometimes like my dreams are just too much, and a lot of times I don't remember. Lately, I haven't been remembering my dreams because it's been so intense for me. So whether I'm blocking it out or just too much happening in everyday life, so I suppose the movies and TV shows are just a different input to figure out life. So yeah,
Mm. Yeah.
It,
And I also think too, like with when you're going through intense periods, whether it's grief or deep healing or whatever it might be, sometimes our connection can be not as strong, and that's something like, and it can be, and it's a slow coming back. So, and then so if you're going to dip your toe back into watching movies, like of course it's like another rabbit hole of going, okay, what are they telling us here?
yeah,
What can we pull from that? What truth is there? So that's really cool too. Mm.
yeah. Do you want to share any dreams, like any dreams that have been very insightful or impactful, or anything that you would like to share? Have you got any dreams on the top of your head that you can remember?
Yeah, well, I mean, that one that sparked back in was obviously a really powerful one. And I have had a dream like a long time ago, obviously when I was trying to find my way. And I'm sure many people can relate to this one when you're trying to run, but you're stuck. You're moving so slow. It's like, one of those things. Have you guys ever had one of those dreams where you're trying to get somewhere? No?
No,
No.
no.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, very long time ago. So I remember that. And then also when working things out in dreams, like having conversations with people that maybe you can't have in real life, or maybe they've passed on, or they're just for whatever reason. So I'm having a conversation with them in the dream, trying to nut things out. So that's something that's happened. Not heaps, maybe like two or three times, but it's sort of uh I can remember those. Like I can't remember what we're talking about, but I can remember having those conversations and trying to work out, I guess, in the ether, in that space, to come to where we needed to come to. And sometimes with one of them, it's like, okay, the frequency isn't going to match here. So it's time to walk away, or you know what I mean? So one thing that I do too, is if I'm trying to work something out or want to get clarity on something, I know how powerful our subconscious mind is. So before I'm going to sleep, I will ask my subconscious mind a question, and say, okay, so I mean, for simple terms, like how can I make tomorrow the best day ever? Or if I've got something that I'm working out, okay, show me what I need to see, because our subconscious mind's job is to keep us safe and to bring to the surface what we ask and what we focus on. So I use that as well. And so sometimes I'm having a dream that is in relation to that question. And even though I might not remember the dream, I might wake up with the clarity that I need. So I think that's something really powerful as well. So yeah, so sometimes it might not remember it or it might not make sense, but I still get what I need from it. And I guess if you don't, then maybe that's not the path you're supposed to be walking as well. So it's about being really discerning with what's coming through too, I think. Do you guys find that?
Oh,
Oh
100%. And
yeah,
this
definitely.
is, yeah, this is echoing a little bit of kind of our conclusions from our last episode. Not sure if you had a chance to listen to it. It was just a short one, but Biljana and I have started an experiment related to dreams where we want to explore what things can affect your dreams. So, having an intent, not having an intent, perhaps not eating after 6, reduce sugar, sleepy time tea, or, just various things like that. And so, we started the experiment just before Christmas. We had to cut it a little bit short because the holidays came up, and our first experiment was reduced sugar, and that was one thing I could not make all the way through Christmas. But one of the biggest things that we learned during that is the importance of having intention in order
Mm.
to get the most out of your dreams. And Biljana and I both went an entire week without, or 5 days or so, without having an intention. And it was just chaos on my part. Like the dreams were the most random they've ever been, very vivid, no real purpose. Sometimes it was like it was processing things that had happened during the day and kind of you could almost feel that your subconscious was filing things away, but I just felt there was no messages that had come through or there wasn't anything really meaningful from those dreams because there was no intention. And I only did, I don't know how many Biljana did, but I did 3 days post this with intention, and the contrast was phenomenal. So I was really getting that coming through when you were talking about having, asking a question before you go to bed. So to me, that is going to sleep and wanting to dream with purpose or with intention, which we should live with purpose and intention as well. So Biljana and I concluded in the last episode that you should have an intention before you go to bed, but also in your waking life as well.
Yeah. Yeah, we both struggled that week, and like, because I just said I'm just no intention with anything in my life. I'm just kind of just willy-nilly just live like everyone, like other people that just don't think about and focus on their life. And I'm probably thinking about how I maybe used to be, where I was just kind of doing everything mentally, and I struggled. Like my dreams were weird and just not clear. And Sarah's even said before, when you're asking a question before you go to bed, to show me something that's like easy to understand and fun. And I've been doing that, so that's been helpful. No intention, God, like it was
Yeah,
hard.
and I
Yeah.
think
So
when we
yeah,
initially planned the experiment, we thought that we would, for all the different things we would try with and without intention. But I think we've concluded that we can't suffer another week of dreams without intention. We have to put the intention there, and then we'll just, because that's for Biljana and I, that would be like our base where we're starting from is always having that intention. So I guess we want to know what affects our baseline in terms of dreams. So. That'll be to be continued in the future and not too distant future. We'll be continuing on that and reporting as it goes along. But you're more
yeah.
than welcome to give it a go too, Narita, and report back to us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, actually, it's funny. Another thing that I do because when I'm working with people, I people, I'm like people as if well, it could be aliens as well. Who knows? Whoever I'm working with, where like I reprogramming our subconscious mind is part of what we're doing. So that's also really powerful before going to sleep is affirming what it is that you want to create and how you want to feel, who you want to be, how you want to show up in the world, all that sort of stuff. So I'm really yeah, passionate about that as well too. And I'm all about setting intentions and walking with purpose. And even if that means that sometimes your purpose or your intention might just be just to be. Like we don't have to be striving for something or but and then that comes back to knowing yourself and all that sort of stuff as well too. So yeah, so it's like marinating in the juices that you want to be like feeling, how you want to show up, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, I really love that you're doing this experiment as well and that you've done that because it does show like that to me, what you've just done reflects life in general. It's like if you don't know where you're going and you have no intention, anything can happen and you're only reacting. And the thing we live in an energetic universe, so as soon as you guys started setting intentions again, things started to flow because you had a sense of direction and purpose. So I think that's so powerful what you guys have done because it reflects not only in the dream state, but just in the waking state as well and how we shape our lives. So that's awesome.
Thank
Mm.
you. And it's such a simple task to do. Like, I mean, I'm sure
Yeah.
that somebody has done it before, but I really appreciate that you appreciate that we did it. Oh, we
Oh,
lost Biliana again. That's what
she'll be
happens.
back. She'll be back, won't she?
Yeah, she will. There she is. She's coming back.
There she is. She's just
And I
popping in
never
there.
I never edit this stuff out. I just leave the whole video as is. So we
Yeah.
can continue conversation if Biliana happens to drop call and then we'll fill her
Yeah.
back in as she pops back in.
It's a
Unfortunately.
disappearing act, isn't it? It's a
Yeah,
magic act.
definitely. Oh, you should wear
Ah,
a top hat once. That would be good.
yeah.
I was just about to send a message, go, I'm leaving, sorry, I'll be back in a second.
No, and then you pop back like as quick as you left pretty much. So,
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
I did think she was really listening intently, so she might have been frozen there for a second. I'm like, she's really listening. She's not even blinking.
it's hard to tell sometimes. I'm glad you picked up on that because I've also struggled with that in the past. I think there was something else I wanted to loop back around, something that was said. Okay, I have two very short notes, so I guess we'll just read the note and see what we can go from there. Let's start with lucid dreaming now. Our first guest that we've had on this podcast last year was Sarah Seeger, and that the purpose of that conversation really focused around lucid dreaming because Sarah had completed a lucid dreaming course. And you mentioned about having dreams where you're aware that you're dreaming, which in essence is a lucid dream. So I don't know, I guess we should just see where it flows with lucid dreaming. Maybe we could start with how often that happens for you.
Mm-mm. Yeah. Well, I don't know how often it happens. It's not, and I know that when some people do lucid dreaming, they set the intention to lucid dream. But for me personally, like I mean, maybe a handful of times it's happened over the years, where I know I'm dreaming and I'm like, or I've woken up like I said before and gone to the loo and come back in and just sort of like, okay, I need to finish what was going on there. It's almost like I don't know, part of the game that needed to be played still. So, yeah, but I would love to learn even more about lucid dreaming. But I think it's like what you're saying and what you would have said with the amazing Sarah, just like to be intentional about what you're going in to do. Is that what you guys have found?
Yeah, I mean, intention is definitely key. I think one of the biggest things we've come across in talking about lucid dreaming is kind of the definition of what lucid dreaming is. So I guess this is a little bit of a recap for any listeners who have already been following us throughout every episode. But lucid dreaming, the like bar for a dream to be classified as a lucid dream is simply to be aware that you're dreaming while you're dreaming,
Mm.
to recognize it and then influence your dream or have some kind of control. That is also lucid dreaming, but it's like, it's not the requirement for it to be considered lucid dreaming. So if you, while you're dreaming, know that you're dreaming, but don't have any control over what's happening, you're just kind of along for the ride, that is still considered lucid dreaming. I'm not
Gotcha.
sure if that changes your number.
Yeah, maybe, maybe. But I love how you explain that too, because I've often sort of dipped in and out of like trying to learn a bit more about it and then, just got sidetracked or whatever. So I'm glad you explained it that way because, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to even think like in my dreams recently, like I know I'm dreaming, uh, but I'm sort of watching the movie of the dream as well. So, like, where is this going? Or again, like, is it bringing up something there that I need to look at as well? So, I guess in the dream, I'm kind of working that out maybe as well. And if I remember it, then yeah, it's something that's even more, I guess, pertinent for me to remember and recall.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'd
Yeah.
like to follow that up by if for me, I find that the dreams that have the most to learn from, I guess might be a way to say it. Those are the ones that I don't have to put any effort into remembering. It's like
Mm,
it sticks with me days later, months later, and then that comment loops back to my other thing. So I'm glad I did the lucid dreaming first. My other note was about initial lessons. So I don't remember the exact comment that you had made, but you were talking about how, you had a dream and there was a lesson. Or maybe it was the dream that was sparked for you. And
mm,
then, months later or whatnot, you have a reflection on that dream again, and then you get to pick up like a little bit more details or whatever. And so the comment I wanted to make that I've noticed is that with dreams, I find ones that have a lesson, there's always like a little bit to learn, but sometimes everything that's in that dream, there may be more to uncover. But it's not until you're further along in your journey or have, uncovered other things. And then you go back and you reflect on that and you're like, oh, okay, this is what that part meant that I hadn't figured out. And I think it really goes to show that perhaps keeping a dream diary or some kind of log or, you know, repertoire of your dreams can be quite helpful to for your whole entire journey because it's a log that you can then go back and check, kind of like writing a diary during your everyday life, right? I'm sure that you go back and reflect to see where you've grown or, that sort of thing. So, yeah, that was just something I wanted to point out and happy to hear any comments.
mm. You going, Billiana, or me?
I was just writing down a couple of questions for later, but I suppose when it comes to your lucid dreaming, and I was listening to this guy, and I've talked to Sarah about him, and he's really been insightful. He's not necessarily talking about just dreams, but like lucid dreaming, but also like astral projection and all that sort of stuff. And that's all a bit new for me, so it's still understanding. But for him to even get to be able to lucid dream, it took him, I think, 11 months to get there. So it's not like a quick journey, and you have to understand yourself first before you can understand or even to be able to be aware in your dreams. But the way he did it, he was questioning his reality when he was awake. So questioning like everything, why is this a certain way and all that. And I think that will help as well in your dreams. And I think we spoke about this either the last podcast or the one before. And I was like, that's really good because we need to question when we're awake as well. Because that, when we're awake and when we're dreaming, we're the same. We're the same person. So same consciousness. So my question is, what's your understanding of our reality?
Nothing too crazy, Billiana.
Loaded
I mean,
question.
yeah. I feel like, I mean, to me, over the years, like I've always questioned things. And as I've grown and my consciousness has grown and I've expanded, like looked at different things. In a way, I kind of see it as a bit of a game, and that's not taking away from all the crazy shit that goes on. But it's sort of like, okay, we're here to grow and learn, and this reality is just, I mean, we know science through science that even like no atom, even the hardest like tabletop or anything, like nothing is joining, everything's still moving. And so we're energy, and we're having this experience as a human. But we're already spirit, we're already source, we're already that thing, and we're experiencing it as Nereeda, as Biliana, as Sarah, like we're experiencing ourselves in this reality. And I feel like we're probably doing it in many multiple realities, many universes. I think I just the more I know, the more I don't know. That's for sure. Like I haven't worked it all out, and I feel like we know it already. And we already know it. So at some point we'll come back to that. And right now we're playing in the game. Like, okay, we chose to come to Earth. We chose to have some experiences. We want to grow here. We want to have lessons. We want to experience what it feels like. To have limitations because we're actually limitless. We're in an infinite reality, like, so I mean, there's so many ways I could go with it, but that's just off the
Yeah,
top of
keep
my
going.
head there.
Yeah, because I suppose what the why reason why I'm asking is just to get a basis of like your understanding, and also it can help me to think about things in different ways. So because I'm so open, not so open, but I'm open to talking to people in different ways about what are we, where are we, all that sort of stuff. Because that I suppose that's how we just unpick everything, and so yeah, if you've got something you'd like to share, definitely put it on the table because
Yeah.
it's always good to hear different things. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I do think, Billiana, like, I mean, I've been reflecting on this myself lately because I mean, I'm someone who's loved to explore and always will, always love diving down rabbit holes and learning something new. And then coming back to, like, we all have seasons in our lives as well. And sometimes we're like full looking into stuff. And then other times our body just needs to relax and we just need to chill out for a while. Like, there's all this sort of stuff. And also we're creators, so whatever we're focusing on, ultimately we're bringing to the space. And I feel like we're in a time where we're creating something new, like some people say we're creating the new earth, or whatever it might be. I feel like we're in that time where we are creators, so whatever we're setting our intention to, whatever we want to bring to the table of life, that's up to us. So we get to explore this stuff and realize how expansive we are and how powerful we are and how infinite we are. And then we go, okay, what am I going to do with this? I know that we are powerful. And how do I want to make my life look? Who do I want to be? How do I want to influence, and just whatever it might be. Like, we're here to make a difference as well, whatever that looks like for us. And we've all got our own unique piece of the puzzle. And I know I always say that, but how do we want to shine that? Like, you guys are doing it with your dreams, like, and sharing about dreams. Like, there's not a lot of people out there who's doing a podcast on dreams and getting people to look at that. And that in itself is bringing to the table people questioning, okay, well, what can these dreams be meaning? What does it mean for me? What else is there available in reality, and what do I want to create? And that's the same for me. Like, I want to see people living their full potential and to shine their light, whatever it looks like. And so as a creator, what do we want to create in this game of life that we're a part of? Like, here we are now. Like, we know we're here now. And yes, there's so many different things going on in multiple realities. What can we do here? And what can we do in this moment? And how can we play? How can we make this world a better place by making our own life the best that it can be, and by filling up our cup so we can be there for others, and rock the ripple and do what it is that we want to do because we're here at a very freaking exciting time. Like so much shit is coming to the surface. And that's probably with you girls doing the dream podcast, people will be dreaming more. They'll be wanting to understand themselves more. They want to, why is this happening? Why do I keep having the same freaking dream over and over again? Like that can happen too. Like so there's yeah, so I don't know, I'm going on a rant, but there's just so much potential and possibility. And I think that's what is exciting about this time that we're in and this place that we're all here together. We all know each other, and maybe we high-fived each other before we came down. We're like, all right, I'm going to play this role. And you're going to play this role. We're going to catch up at this time. And, like, who knows? But I mean, that resonates a bit for me. Like we connect with our soul family. We go, okay, that's it. And then comes back to the dream again. Like when we've had, like the one that you sparked, Sarah, for me, it's like, thank you. You played that role that I needed to have that elevation in my life, to learn that lesson, to step into my power more. Thanks a lot. Now it's on to the next thing. So yeah,
Ah,
anyway.
so beautiful. You're just radiating love and energy, and I just love it so much listening to you, and I'm so excited that you agreed to come onto our podcast today to share all your wonderful knowledge and experiences. And I do agree, we must have high-fived each other and like we're gonna meet here.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate, again, I feel weird saying this again, but I appreciate that you appreciate what we're doing here because it gives me more motivation and more courage to keep on going because
Mm.
I know we're just starting out, we're just little, but Billiana and I have so much fun and we always have something to talk about. And as you pointed out, people always dream and they're probably gonna dream more as the earth changes and evolves into this new reality and golden age that's coming. So it really is an exciting time to be alive. And that is a great podcast about UFOs, by the way, called It's an Exciting Time. Just to
Oh,
put in a little plug for those guys that I listen to.
awesome.
Yeah, cool. Um, yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, I was going to say, like, when you're saying about people are going to be dreaming more, and that's why I'm so excited about what Sarah and I are doing. It's not, we're well known or anything like that, but just purely us having a chat every week and recording it. And, you mention it to one person, and I even did a diagram or drew it like with circles, like you're like the center, and then you talk to one person and then they talk to someone else, and it's just the ripple effect. But so just what we're doing here can make a huge impact other people down the track, and we haven't done anything except just express what we've experienced, what we're thinking, what we're feeling. And that's what we're going to come back to, that is talk about these sorts of things in everyday conversation. Like I was sitting down with my siblings and my mum the other day and talking about dreams because I mentioned this podcast, and my sister said she had a dream about me. It was quite violent, but I was like, oh, yeah, that's cool. Like, and that's, I suppose, for her to unpack. I didn't even try to understand it. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So even just having these conversations with people around you is so beneficial. So, and even what you do, Narita, that's so beneficial for people. I've got your journal, and I'm meaning to record myself with my script and then, overlay a heartbeat. So what you're doing is impacting, so many people. You may not know it, but you are. So, yeah.
Yeah, thanks, mate. And you know what? And thank you. And it's like, but all of us are. And like, so even if no one ever heard this conversation that we're having right now, it is still creating ripple effects. Like we don't know where it's going to catch on in another dimension. We don't know who's tuning in where. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of that feels exciting as well because you're like, okay, like I'm getting this out. I'm expressing myself. It's awesome. And that's what I think is really powerful about this sort of stuff too, is you get to express what's on your heart because not everyone wants to sit down and talk about dreams, but there are people that do. And so it gives that space to be able to go, oh, so grateful just to be able to talk about this stuff, and it just let it out and just explore it and play with it. Because that's what it is. It's like play with the idea, just get curious. Like just get really curious. Okay, well, what does that mean? Like, and I guess the people that don't get curious, that's fine. That they're curious about other things. So it's just, yeah. So it's that ripple, isn't it? And yeah, there's always something to learn, that's for sure.
Definitely. Well, that's why it's called Earth School, right?
Yeah.
When you were talking about how, maybe nobody actually listens to this particular conversation, but we've created it, it's out there, and, it could be tapped in from somewhere else. And this brings me to another podcast that I've listened to this podcast before, but I'm re-listening to it because I've reached the point at my fiance where I think he's able to take this in and get him to think about it. And the name of the podcast is called Where's My Mind? Or Where's Your Mind? And it's by Mark Gober, who's written a ton of books about like the upside down to thinking, the upside down to medicine. Highly recommend, although I've not actually read his books. I have listened to the 8 episode podcast. And the most recent one talks about telepathy and how we're all connected to a greater conscience because the brain doesn't actually create your consciousness. It's coming from from outside, and we're kind of like receivers. And so yeah, so this conversation we've created, it's in the conscience, the collective. So it can just it can just pass on to somebody else, just kind of not really through osmosis, but it's there. And if somebody's on the same wavelength as this conversation today, then they're gonna pick it up. And it reminds me earlier, very simple, but just to show how people can be connected. And I do truly believe that we are all innately telepathic because we're all connected to the same source. And that is me and my fiance, we were discussing what we should have for supper, and he went outside for a few minutes, and then I had the thought come in my head. I was like, "Oh, we're gonna have tacos." And I go out to him, and he pretty much was saying the exact same thing to me back without, that communication. I was like, "Huh." It's like, "Are we telepathic?" Huh, huh, huh. Because we've listened to the episode about telepathy just a couple nights ago. So,
Yeah. I feel like when you live with someone, like that happens with my partner too. Like all of a sudden you're just like, I was just thinking that. Like I'll say something or he'll say something. I'm like, are you in my head? Like I think because you're tuned into each other's frequency more and more. So it happens. And when you were talking about telepathy as well, I haven't listened to it yet, but I've seen it pop up a few times. There's a podcast called The Telepathy Tapes. So I haven't listened to it at all, but someone sent it to me and then I saw it pop up in another group and another page. So there's obviously something there to listen to. So I'll add that to my list. I don't know about you guys, but people are like, here, listen to this, listen to this. And so I've got this massive list and it's like, I will get to things, but I know it will be the right timing as well because you can't listen to everything or you'll probably never eat or sleep or do anything.
well, then you become listening to podcasts while you're doing everything else, and then you're not taking the time for yourself to self-reflect and digest and do
Yes.
everything like that. I find that's a big thing for me. And one thing that I've enjoyed sometimes is just being quiet, not having anything play. And maybe I'm doing a puzzle occupying my hands, but my thoughts are able to just bounce around. But it's great
Mm.
you brought up about telepathy tapes because I'm pretty sure Biljana sent that to me recently. So I don't know if she sent it to you as well, or
Oh,
it's
no.
definitely come into my awareness at least twice now. So, and it's in your awareness at least twice. So there's something there. Is
There's
Biljana
something there.
froze again?
Yeah, she's frozen again. I might
Okay.
have to.
In a very
She's
thinking.
very in that pose, isn't
Yeah.
she? That should be just like the thumbnail is Billiarda just posing like
Very
oh, she might have to
focused.
jump on and off, I think, again. So hopefully she comes back. Yeah.
Yeah, she'll pop in and out, and then we'll tell
Yeah.
her we were talking about her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, there she goes. Yeah, the
Yeah.
list of podcasts just it piles up, and then sometimes I get caught up and then I'm like, well, I don't have anything to listen to now, you know?
Mm.
Do you ever, okay, here's the question. Do you ever listen to your own episodes later on? It's a question, random question.
That's no, that's an awesome question. Not in its Not usually, not in its entirety. Like when I'm editing, I'm hearing back things and I think there was one that I did listen to like earlier on where I can't remember what, or did I? No, I didn't. That's a lie. Sorry. No, that was something else. I don't listen to the whole thing again, like because I'm in the conversation, I think as well. But at the same time, I'll when I'm editing, I'll listen to different bits that I've heard and then yeah, so but not usually like, sitting down and listening to the whole thing. Yeah. Do you guys do that? Like, but then
Mm.
again, sometimes there's stuff that pops back in. I go, oh, someone did say something that I really want to hear again, so I'll try and find it as well. But yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I listen to sometimes, mostly when I don't have anything else to listen to. But also just if I'm sharing the podcast with somebody else and I'll like play it, I was like, oh, you should listen to this episode. This was a good conversation and let them listen to it. And it's yeah, it's fun to listen to your own recordings, but it's also a little self-awareness comes in as you're like, oh my goodness, I have so many filler words. And I'm a
Yeah.
Toastmaster for the last 6 years, so then it's like even more aware of when filler words are said. So that's something that popped into my head. But I've been told by Ben that it gets better.
I mean, well, that's the thing. We're all just finding our way and doing it. Like, I think I use the word awesome at least a million times in any podcast or chinwag or like, but I mean, that's who we are too. Like, that's the thing too. And I guess, we weren't born as podcasters. We weren't born like, we're just all learning as we go as well. So, but yeah, it's funny sometimes. Like, there is some podcasts where I'm like, I can't believe that's how it ended the show. That was like, you like blah, 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 blah. You don't even know if you've spoken any English, and you just listen back. You go, oh my gosh, there's nothing you can do about it because it's done. So you just go, oh well,
Oh well, somebody will appreciate it or
yeah,
give you the feedback.
yeah.
Welcome back, Biljana. You had frozen in this very like very serious pose, and for a second we thought you were just very intently listening, and then we're like, oh wait, no, Biljana's frozen. But
That's all right.
the main thing you missed was that you sent me the telepathy tapes, I believe, recently, and Narita had been talking about the telepathy tapes. So I just wanted to point out that
Yeah.
that seems like something we should listen to because it's come in all of our awareness a couple of
Mm,
times now. So I think that's all that she
Yeah,
missed,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
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 I think
pretty
so.
much. I did hear it.
Okay.
Yeah, you talking about that. Yeah, that's fine. In regards to like listening back to the episodes, I don't for hours, but because I think our conversations were for that moment. Because if I go back and even read my journal, I'm like, who is this person writing this? Because it's like as soon as you've written it, you change straight away. Like
Yes.
you're a different person. It's same as like if you watch videos of you're through your life doing all this stupid stuff, you're just like, what was I thinking? So I just go, you know what? I don't need to listen to it because I don't remember exactly what I've said, but I know it was exactly what I needed to say and what I was supposed to say. And I go, you know what? I'm not perfect when I talk. Doesn't matter.
No,
Mm,
that's actually beautiful. It's like trusting
Yeah.
who you are and just believing that every moment in your life is you're doing exactly what you're meant to be doing and not questioning it. So that's really beautiful, Billiana. Thank you.
mm,
Yeah. And what you're
yeah.
capable of doing at the time, like you can only be you. You can't be like unless you're pretending, but you can only be who you are in the moment. So why try to be anything else? I think.
Mm. Ah,
You know,
love
like
that.
I've said, people say to me, like, "Oh, you sound so Aussie, like you sound like a bogan," and I was like, "Well, that's just how I." how I talk. Why do I have to change how I talk, you know? So I'm being me, you know, and same with the two of you. You are talking and being who you are, so, you know.
For the record, my fiance really likes the contrast between our voices, Biliana. Because he's like, "Oh, Sarah, you have such a sweet voice," and then Biliana has the accented voice. It is just a good contrast that goes together. So,
See, there you
That's
go.
awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back to dreams. And Biliana's usually the one who likes to tie things back together and whatnot. So I'm just gonna throw out a question. Biliana's thrown out a lot of, in-depth questions today. So here's one for you, Narita. And that is, if you could understand one thing from dreams, what would it be?
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
if I could,
I don't even know if I could answer that, but I'm putting it out there.
if I could understand one thing from dreams, that's a really interesting question because it depends on what you're wanting to understand, like understanding the meaning of dreams or
Yeah, or like what they are, perhaps you could go on that avenue
okay.
if you want.
Yeah. Well, you know what'd be cool? What just popped into my head would just be to like not lucid dream where you know you're dreaming, but fully awaken and be like present in the dream, like awake dreaming. So you could fully understand what's going on. Like I just got this picture of a TV screen kind of thing. And I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, to be fully awake of where you are in the dream. So you could actually see everything going on. Like so you know when you pull back big picture and you can look at your life. I mean, I don't know if everyone does this, but you can look at your life and you can see why certain scenarios are happening because big picture, you can go, okay, I need to learn how to stand in my power in that situation. This lesson is teaching me this. So if you could do it in a dream, but it be like you could stand there and just see, or maybe all your dreams or what's actually happening and have that big picture view. So maybe you could see all the lifetimes or all the things that are going in there. So that would be a great way to understand.
So are you talking about like, because sometimes dreams can go kind of from like one scene to another or have like a bunch of random symbols and randomness that are all kind of strung together. So do you mean to like kind of zoom out and know where each part is coming from? Is that kind of where you're going with that?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And yeah, like maybe in one dream or all dreams, like just to see like go that big picture. Go all the way back so you can see everything. So like getting a bird's eye view. So I don't know if that's well, that would help to understand it, wouldn't it? But it could also blow your mind. Like maybe our minds can't can't go there in this reality, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why I think that dreams are accessing another dimension, right? Because we're very limited in the amount of, if we were to think about even just our conversation here, the amount of data and information that is put out into the ether or put out into consciousness. And if you think there's 8 billion people on this planet, plus who knows how many conscious, souls or other living beings in the universe that have a conscience and are part of the collective, the amount of data out there or information out there is massive that there's no way that our brains can take in all that information. And I like the analogy. I'm kind of going off on a little bit of a tangent here, but I like the analogy that our brains are kind of like a radio station or a radio, and that we
Mm.
have to tune our frequency to tap into certain parts of consciousness or whatever it is that we want to tap into. And so it would be interesting to know whether or not when we're asleep and dreaming, if we have the capacity to be able to see more than we actually are seeing. I don't know where I'm going with this. I've kind of tried to bring it back, but my brain is like wanting to go in like 10 directions. So pick one, girls, and let's go.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a question. What do you think daydreaming is?
Mm.
It's the same, isn't it? Except you're a bit more aware. Well,
Well,
I don't know. That's my first. Yeah. What do you
because
think it is,
do you
Billy?
have like visual things, or do you kind of just like it's clarity? Like for me, I'm not thinking anything when I daydream. It's just like you have a fixed spot, but nothing's coming through. Is that maybe your true essence is like at that moment? Is I don't know.
Like when you're daydreaming is, but if you're not dreaming at all, do you mean like so?
No, like daydreaming, you're not um it just kind of happens. You don't consciously or like intentionally try to daydream. You just, like zoning out people. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's like they
zoning
zone
out
out at
and
that moment.
thinking
And
about something, I guess, or
Yeah. For me,
or
I,
just
I don't think anything. So
oh,
that's what yeah.
yeah. So you can zone out and not have any thoughts going on. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
a real gift.
So that's why I wonder, is that like a true essence, like it's not no interference, there's no thoughts, or it's just like our true pure essence, of who,
It
who
could.
we are, and not in this form. So I
Yeah, well, it
don't know.
could be. Because I know if I'm like zoning out and I'm just sort of like I'll be sitting at my desk and I'll look out the window and I'm just staring, and then something will drop in, like an idea or a thought or something that, maybe like I'm not purposefully thinking about something. So that's sort of when I'm just like, yeah, just enjoying. I'm pointing over here because there's a beautiful tree. So I'll look at that tree and just admire the tree and just be, okay, that's awesome. And I'm not really thinking anything in that. And sometimes something will drop in, and maybe is that a daydream? Is that daydream? I don't know. Or is it just being in the moment and just, yeah, she's frozen again. Oh no, she's not. She's back.
Okay.
She's
No,
nodding.
no, I'm listening.
That was true focus listening.
That was true.
It's
Like, yeah, what do you think, Sarah?
yeah, it's interesting. I'm kind of torn because I definitely have
Mm.
been in the moment like you where you're just kind of, you know, focusing on something, just really taking in the moment. Like the best example I can have is I've started feeding the neighborhood birds. So I have blue jays and cardinals. We even have pheasants that show up, and it's just really nice. It happens to be where I can see them through my kitchen window. So I can be like doing my dishes and just kind of stare out and just enjoy the beauty of the birds. And in that moment, I'm not really thinking absolutely anything, but definitely thoughts will come in. And Biliana, what I was understanding from what you're talking about is like you're not having any thoughts come in at all. Like you have full control. It sounds like you have mastered not allowing anything to come into your awareness without you allowing it into your awareness.
It's more so like there's just a clear head, not necessarily I'm blocking anything out, but just clear-minded, like you haven't got all these negative thoughts coming in, or you're not even thinking about what you need to do. It's just silence. And
Mm.
Living
and
in the
then
moment.
that's when
Yeah.
you get, yeah, and that's when I suppose when you were saying, Narita, is you get something that drops in is because you've made space for something to come in that's purely your essence and not from any interference from anything else.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
that
I
that's
feel what
kind of what I was just been thinking lately. I don't
mm.
I don't know, but yeah, just a thought.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, no, I feel that. I feel what you're saying. Absolutely. Yeah, and that's the thing. There's so many possibilities as well, But I think that's really special as well. I remember I did this detox for about 8 weeks a little while back, and it was amazing. And I had this. I remember being at the beach and just walking, and the clarity, the crystal clear clarity that I had and felt was just so potent. And it was, I think it's a bit, maybe it's different, maybe it's the same, but it was just walking in that space of just like, it was amazing. And, like, because I mean, yeah, and I don't know, I mean, I'm sure it was due to doing that work as well too, but at the same time, like we can't always maintain this level of whatever that was, but it's like it's just that clarity of just yeah. But I also think what you're maybe talking about too is just really being in that moment, Billy, and just really just like um not having the thoughts come in and just allowing it just to be. And that's really special too, because I think we all get like, I know I'm a big thinker, so I can be thinking about like six different things at once sometimes because I like to work things out. Like, how can I make this easier? What did it? But then at the same time, when I can go to, whew, and it's like maybe it's through for me, it's like my beach walks. I can just be walking and I'm just nothing's there. It's just being around and like I don't always listen to a podcast and then I notice the sleepy lizard that goes across there takes me out of that zone. I'm like, but yeah, there's so many different ways to kind of look at it. But I think yeah, tapping into your true essence and that never goes away. It's always there, isn't it?
Yeah. We've just got layers and layers of interference, when you're thinking about, I've got to make money, or I've got to, society says I've got to be like this. And it's all these layers of interference. Maybe it's like that daydream or zoning out or being in the moment is like your time to just push that all away and just be you. So, and
Mm.
that's same with your dreams, I suppose. If you don't remember your dreams, is that because you've got so much interference in your life that you are not tapping into that, just being in the moment? I don't know.
Mm. Yeah.
Another
Or
ponder.
is it needed? Is it needed too? Like sometimes other is is what we experience in our dream state, is it required for what we're experiencing here? Like sometimes I definitely think it is. But sometimes are you coming into that dream for another reality where you're showing up in that dream is helping a different version of you living in a different dimension, a different parallel reality. Do you know what I mean? Could that be happening as well?
Yeah, that's an interesting point because again, there's so many different types of dreams, and I believe that the various types of dreams have a different purpose for a particular reason at that particular moment in time. But me personally, and I've talked to Billiana about this, sometimes my dreams are, I don't know how to confirm, and there's no way for us to really confirm what's happening. But sometimes it genuinely feels like I have time traveled, like I have traveled somewhere. I am not no longer in this reality. I have gone to a different timeline for some purpose, whether it's to, like you said, have a conversation with another being or like another soul essence or another part of yourself to help you in that lesson, or perhaps it's visiting another timeline of life that you've already lived that you need to revisit to bring that information back into your awareness when you're awake. I definitely genuinely feel that, but I don't know how to confirm it. And I definitely can't tell everybody that except anybody who listens to this episode right now because people think you're crazy. Like, how are you traveling to other timelines and realities? That's not possible.
Totally possible.
Yeah,
Totally.
I know it
Do it
is,
in your
but
sleep.
well, and that's why I think we
Yeah.
access other dimensions and other timelines. And why? It's because everything in this reality, in this dimension, is physical, even though it's not. We talked about the solid table being energetic and moving, and it's just an arrangement of energy that's made to look like something that's solid, but at an atomic level, it really is still just moving and vibrating. And when we talk about conscience and tapping into other things, that doesn't exist beyond, like, the 3D essence of that doesn't exist beyond the third dimension, if that makes any sense at all. And there's a reason that we come here for a physical experience because we are metaphysical and we are having a physical experience. So I feel that when you dream, you're tapping in back into the metaphysical, if that makes any sense.
Mm.
And all that
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
definitely. Yeah, yeah. And we've talked about, Sarah and I, like, I think it's been off recording, or I don't think we've recorded, but when we're sharing our dreams, like we've been discussing like the types of dreams, and I don't interpret my dreams. I go more on like how I feel in a dream, and Sarah's a bit more about the symbols and all that sort of stuff. So um I suppose it's just picking out what you resonate with. I don't know where I was going with that, but I suppose just becoming aware of, like, it could be one dream is you've time travel, or it's a premonition, or it's a past life, or that sort of thing. So even just thinking those things are possible can help you interpret your dream. So because I never, like, it's all new for me thinking in that way. And we've talked about this and she's mentioned it to me, and it's kind of opened up my mind about the possibility of what is coming through in your dream. It's not just one thing. It can be multiple different things coming through. And if people listening, if they do want your dreams interpreted, you're more than welcome to contact us and, yeah, like, get some insight, like, get some conversations happening about, you know, what is it that's coming through. So I just thought I'd put it in there, Sarah.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate the drop, and I'll follow that up by you can uh, email us at dreamoracle4u@gmail.com, and that's the number four and the letter U, or you can reach us on Telegram and Instagram. Lots of ways to follow us on YouTube and Spotify and so on and so forth. Just a little plug for the podcast there.
Mm. Well, I just want to add to
But I
that too
just thought,
because
yeah.
oh sorry Billiana, it's
No,
just
you
like
go. No.
well, with you guys interpreting dreams, I think what an awesome match because, like you said, you tap into more of the feeling of it. So when you're decoding a dream with someone, and Sarah looks at the symbols, so what a beautiful sort of symbiotic relationship you've got going on there. So to have someone come to you guys and then sort of say, okay, you can kind of tap into, well, here's what I'm feeling, and Sarah, you can say, oh, this is what I'm seeing, and kind of just I mean, obviously you see and feel both as well, but just sort of tapping into that. So I think that's a really special way for when people are working with you. So yeah, very cool. Very cool.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you, thank you.
definitely.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
something Biljana and I notice right from the get-go is that we complement each other very well and we just connect really nicely, and that's why we're co-hosts. And this is now, I've lost count of how many episodes we've recorded together now. I think this is episode 16 and we started at episode 8 maybe. So,
Yeah.
Awesome. Well done,
Yeah, it's
guys. That's
been
awesome.
good. And, like, even just talking about, like, dreaming in certain ways, like, do you dream in color, black and white, cartoon? I think, Sarah, you've said that you've
oh, it's the
um
most fascinating thing.
yeah.
I don't know if we talked about that, Narita, when I was on your show, but dreaming in color, it's happened at least two or three times for me, and it's the most beautiful, fascinating thing that I just always want it to happen. I don't know why it happens. I don't know if there was a lesson. I don't know if it was sent from my higher self or it was just some entity playing. I don't know what it was, but it was awesome.
Yeah. That is so
You
cool.
how do you
Yeah.
dream?
Yeah, well now because when you said that I was going to ask you both, like that's the thing. I'm trying to think of some dreams, even the one that popped back into my awareness. I know I have had some color in dreams actually, but in general, I'm just trying to think. I don't know, but I know I have had color because I've seen a rainbow before, and and I can see it like I'm looking over here because that's my mind going okay, and like the one that when I was on the swing, like so now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, did I see that that was at a park and I could see the green grass and that it was there and maybe, but it wasn't like super bright, but yeah, I'm not sure now. I'm gonna have to really, yeah, I
Pay
don't know, because I'm
attention.
overthinking it. Yeah.
Yeah,
What about you?
because the question comes, are you dreaming in color or are you remembering in color? You know, there's that kind of
Yeah.
possibility that's happening, or dreaming in black and white, for example. But sorry, Biljana, you got to answer the question.
Mm,
Well, for me, that's I don't recognize color, so I just say it's like grayscale, because
mm,
that's, like we've said, I don't recognize colors because I suppose in my it's not what I recognize even during the day. Like, I love colors seen in the garden when I'm gardening, and in nature, but it's how I feel in that environment. So I think that's what more I focus on. So I guess it's just who you are. Everyone's different. So, and that's why, like, if things pop up, certain symbols or people or animals, you all have a different interpretation of those things. So when I've thought about reading dream interpretation books, and I'm like, I think they're just going to be too general. Like we are all different, we have different experiences. So that's what we've been having those discussions about, even just in color and I've spoken to people, they've mentioned they dream in color and they've also dreamt in cartoons. So it's been, you know,
I'm glad I'm not the only one. That's awesome. You didn't tell me that. Um, yeah, there was something I was gonna say with all this. It is gone. I
Well, I
think
mm,
you, Marita, talked to Biba about this once, where it's like you've got this conscience wave of something comes, and if you don't grab it fast enough, it goes on. So
yeah, yeah, that's already happened about twice in this conversation. I'm like, well, if it's meant to come back in, it will.
it'll do a loop back.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think, with you guys talking about this too, like maybe things, and maybe as we grow and evolve and change, and, maybe we do experience our dreams differently along the way, which might be why sometimes it's harder to remember, or I don't know, like there's just so many ways to play with it. Like I'm a big feeler too, Billy. So like I'll feel into, like if I have a feeling, I'll remember that in the dream. But I also like will notice things as well too. Like if there's like something sort of symbolic there, or like, like where I am, or where the person is, or whatever. So but maybe it depends on the dream and what comes back through that too. So maybe, yeah, and I don't know, it can change. But I've definitely never dreamed in cartoon. So that's a new one that I have not. So you're a
yeah.
cartoon character in another dimension, Sarah.
I guess
Gimme.
so. Who knows? That's funny. Yeah, no, there was like the genie once. I dreamt of like the genie, and it was the lamp that was chasing his tail that's trying to like suck him into, from
Oh.
Aladdin. So there was
So you
that.
were watching it. Sorry to interrupt
Yeah,
you.
yeah,
Oh,
my
okay.
cartoon is not me being a cartoon character. It's more or less me
Gotcha.
just witnessing it. And then there was once where it was like I I don't know where I physically was, but I imagined that I was like in a car or a cart and just kind of driving by and just watching colorful cartoon billboards. It was like just random things, kind of like I don't know where or I don't know how to describe it, but if you can just imagine like a bunch of buildings with a whole bunch of TV screens that are all just different cartoons, that was kind of like as I was passing by, but they weren't necessarily cartoons that I recognized. It was just cartoon images or cartoon things. But there was one thing, the only thing that stood out from that dream for me, and I still have no idea why or if it was meant for anything, but I feel like if it comes up, I'm meant to figure it out eventually. There was one billboard that I remember, and it said something like geographical clock. And that's all I know.
Oh,
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Mm,
On the
mm.
topic of feeling, though, just to change gears a little bit, you guys talk about, how you felt in a dream. But have you actually ever felt something in a dream? Like had something happen in a dream that would have a physical feeling to it that you then felt as if it was real. And so I can give a couple of examples. Recently I hugged my grandmother who's passed away. I hugged her in a dream, and I just like I could feel like what it was like to feel her, or, feel her hug, I guess, if you will. So I felt that recently. And another instance, and this is totally different from like the nice feeling of hugging someone, is once I dreamt that I was being pulled through like a portal, which is weird. I have very unusual dreams, I'll just say that. And I was being pulled through a portal, and my leg, like the shin of my leg, kind of got caught or hit the edge of the portal as I went through. And I actually felt like pain on my leg that felt like I felt it was like my physical body felt it somehow. But
While you were dreaming.
while I was dreaming, yeah, but I didn't like wake up with any like marks on my body or anything like that. Thankfully, that would be really weird. But not out of the realm of possibility, I'll say that.
No, I think that does happen to some people, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, for sure. But I've on numerous occasions I've had dreams where I'm like, huh, I actually felt what that felt like, you know? And I
Mm.
actually spoke to my fiance today about it. Ah, Billiana, it's gone again. I spoke to my fiance this morning about feeling if he feels things in his dream. He's like, yeah, but normally I'm getting punched in the face. I'm like, why are you dreaming about getting punched in the face? But yeah,
Oh, that's not cool. Well, yeah, you would notice that one when you wake up, that's for sure. Mm.
definitely. Oh, Billiana, welcome back.
You're
That
talking
magic
about
dream.
something important, that's for sure.
It seems
Mm.
that it seems so.
Yeah, so maybe those experiences are experiences. Like maybe like you are having that actual thing. I mean, well, is the whole or is the whole thing that we're in anyway a dream of a dream of a dream of a dream anyway? So
Well, then we're
we're
just in a
dreaming.
simulation, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's it. So,
I mean,
yes.
it could be. I mean, there's the idea that I think Billiana, you mentioned about astral traveling. I mean, what's the difference between astral traveling and dreaming? You know, they're going, I feel like your body's awareness, I don't know if that's the right term, your consciousness is going to interpret that as a dream. I feel like if you astral travel, you're going to experience that as a dream, but perhaps when you astral travel, you're like you're still tethered, I believe, to your body here on Earth, but are you gone to a different reality and into a different body? Like, I don't know, another version of yourself? How does that work? I mean, I definitely have had dreams where I have met family members that or friends or whatnot that they look different than they do here. They are the same person, but their features are slightly different. And then I'm like, okay, am I in like a parallel timeline here? What's going on?
Mm, yeah. Well, I know that I've
Interesting.
had dreams where this different energy, like it's like the energy of the person is the same, but they look different
Yeah.
as well. Were you going to say that too, Biliana? Sorry.
No, I just said it was interesting, but also it's similar to a dream that I've had, and it was about my uncle, and I've shared this with Sarah. Like he looked different. He was like talking the same, but yeah, he looked different. He's quite a fit person, but he was chubby in my dream. So, and even was saying that maybe that's like all the weight that he's carrying, like, all the stress or trauma, everything that he's carrying, that's that's the representation of him in the dream. So I'm like, that's interesting because I couldn't work out why. So,
Mm. And I really like that because that's a visual representation of what it could mean because you might not be able to pick up on it otherwise, and that's how, you're able to tap into that. So that's really good. And that's why it's so cool. Like obviously our dreams, I guess, well, I was going to say they're meant for us, but are they if we're going to speak with someone about it? So if your higher consciousness knows that I'm going to chat with Sarah and Billiana about my dream, it knows what messages to put in there so that you can decode it in a way that makes sense as a
Hmm.
team. Like, do you know what I mean? So, like, because obviously there's that element to it as well. So,
Yeah, there's
yeah.
so many layers with dreams. It's so fascinating. I feel like we could literally talk for 5 hours and still have another 100 hours to go. You know? Um, yeah, that's a really interesting thing to put up on. Like, it do we know in advance? Because we do have free will, and that's the thing that I toy with, or I find hard to grasp sometimes that, we come here with a plan. We come here with, a general outline of what we want to accomplish and where we're going to be. Clearly the three of us decided that this was the day that we're going to sit down and have this conversation. But we have free will, and a lot of different things happen throughout all of that. But yet somehow there are key points in the plan that still seem to come through, and it's mind-boggling to think sometimes. And I don't think that's related to anything we were just talking about, but it just came through really strongly and I had to share.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think about that. I mean, that's the thing. Like we chose to come here. We sort of had this, we have this outline and path. If we looked at our astrology, we would see, like different kind of, but we also have free will. So it's a paradox. So we have to be able to hold space for both. And yeah, I mean, it's exciting and crazy at the same time, isn't it? It can
Oh,
blow your mind.
absolutely.
Mm.
Like I said, that's why we can have this conversation for a few hours or 100 hours and we still wouldn't finish because,
Yeah.
yeah, it's quite incredible. Um, well, we've had fantastic chinwag so far this evening. I'm not sure if there's more to come through or if we should wrap things up, but I always ask, since your podcast, Narita, I always ask Biliana what's on her heart, and so I'll pass the buck to Biliana first, and then we'll pass it to you, Narita. And if more comes through, we'll keep going. If not, we'll wrap things up if that's okay with you both.
Sounds good.
Yeah, definitely. I don't have anything to add, but I just want to say thank you, Narita, for coming on, and Sarah always. It's always fun to have a chat, and it's really great to be able to have these conversations with just, well, I wouldn't say average people, but just people that are just here to share something about themselves and what they're thinking, what they're um, experiencing, and that without anything more than that. So, thank you for that. And yeah, we always love listening to you. Yeah, I love listening to all your podcasts as well. So it's really good to get you on the other side and ask you lots of questions.
Yeah. It's been great, you guys. Honestly, it's an honor to chat with you guys and share the screen with you both. You're awesome humans and souls, and yeah, I love being here. So thank you guys for having me. Yeah, and for everything that you're doing and just sharing what's on your heart each week when you release your episodes. And I think it's just how you do it and express it. It's just like having a chat, and I mean, you guys know that's what I'm all about too. It's just having a chin wag, see what flows through. Like we're at the coffee shop, we're at the virtual coffee shop, just having a chat, having a chin wag, and just seeing what our hearts want to express on that day. And it's beautiful, when it resonates with others as well. Yeah, and it's just fun too. Like we got to play too while we're here, like and just enjoy stuff because there's lots of heavy stuff as well. So just bringing that and exploring is fun, let's be honest. So yeah,
Oh
so thanks
yes,
guys.
definitely. That's
Oh
all right.
yes, she
Thank
says.
you.
Thank you so much, Narita. Oh, sorry, Biliana, you go.
No, you go. No, you go. All good.
No, I was going to close out, so if you're going to say more, say it.
No, I was just gonna say for those listening that haven't gone your podcast and listened to you, like if you want to share how to find you and your website and all that sort of stuff, it'll be with the episode. But just share like what you've got, what you got on offer, and yeah, all that sort of stuff, please.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, so I think as this year progresses, I'll feel like there's different things coming through and all that sort of stuff. So the best way for people to reach me is just go to my website, nereedamckinnes.com, and you'll be able to find everything there. I've also got a free app on the app stores, which is called the Frequency Shift app, so people can start reprogramming their subconscious mind and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, or on YouTube, Instagram, sort of all the social media places at Nereeda McInnes. So yeah, you can find me there. So thank you.
That's all right. I highly recommend the app, the meditation that you do about with the elevator. I'm like, I was listening to that and just listening to your voice, I was like, oh, so good.
It's awesome. Do you like the little dings I put in there too?
Yeah, so good.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thanks,
I
guys.
feel like I'm missing out, so I'm going to have to download this app.
Get on to it.
Yeah, I will. Well, thank you once again, Narita, for coming on today and kicking off January and 2025 with a banging chinwag today. I won't recap it. I normally like to recap our episodes, but we covered so much ground today that I will just say our listeners just had to listen to it. And if you missed something, go back and re-listen to it. Thank you, Narita, for being here. Thank you, Billiana, for being my co-host and just enjoying this journey with me. If you would like to have your dreams interpreted or just want to have a conversation about your dreams, you know where to find us. It'll all be in the show notes. Thank you, dear listeners, for sticking with us to the end and being with us for each and every episode. We love doing this show. We love just sharing our dreams and everything that goes up with that and personal growth and whatnot. And please, everyone, just keep on dreaming.